co-founder of Urban Grape, to give the welcome remarks. TJ?
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. My name is TJ Douglas. I'm the co-founder, along with my wife Hadley, of the Urban Grape. We are more than a wine shop. We've been here in the South End since 2012. We're a very intentional company, and proud to say the largest seller in the Northeast of BIPOC owned and managed alcohol brands, and we're pretty proud of that. So I welcome you here today, and welcome Senator Markey here as well, to really understand what's going on in our economy here, in the BIPOC movement, and really how businesses and organizations help businesses like the Urban Grape here today. I'm really looking forward to the conversation. I encourage you all to listen, hear, and feel. And then also, when you're done with that, swing on by 303 Columbus Avenue to the Urban Grape and meet our amazing staff and help support a female-owned and a black-owned business here in my home of Boston, Massachusetts. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, TJ. Now I'd like to introduce Miguel Stien, Acting National Director of the Mbda. Miguel?
Thank you, Michael, for the introduction. And good afternoon. Please allow me to join with the full Business Center team in welcoming everyone to the Massachusetts Mbda Business Center Open House. My name is Miguel Stien. I'm the Acting National Director of the Minority Business Development Agency. And while I was unable to join you in Boston, I'm happy to connect with you all virtually. I want to take a moment to acknowledge Senator Markey and Congressman Jim McGovern, to thank the Senator and Representative for sharing time with us today. I also want to recognize Peter Hurst, operator of the Greater New England Minority Supplier Development Council. You're all in good hands with Peter. The MBDA is the only federal agency specifically charged with promoting and supporting minority-owned businesses in the U.S. Through a national network of business centers and specialty centers like the one we're celebrating today, the MBDA invests in and has partnered with an extraordinary group of operators, economic facilitators, to help entrepreneurs overcome challenges and achieve business dreams. In 2020, for example, the agency assisted minority businesses in securing roughly $7 billion in government contracts and generating over $3 billion in export contract opportunities. The fact is that investing in our community makes business sense. As the United States becomes a minority nation, know that demographics are in our favor. The private and public sector are eager to diversify their business relations. And according to some studies, if we were to close the quality gap that exists between businesses that are minority owned and those that are not, the U.S. could add $5 trillion to the economy. This is real. But economic justice, both economic justice and business equality, are both a challenge and a commitment to the MBDA. We're moved by the fact that by having an economy that works for everyone, we will make our democracy in this country stronger. The expert staff at the Massachusetts Business Center and those of us here at the MBDA in Washington are ready to assist you, because we believe that your success is our success. Thanks for inviting me today, and I hope you all enjoy this celebration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miguel Stien, Acting National Director of the Mbda. I'd like to tell you something now about the Massachusetts Mbda Business Center. Welcome to our open house. The Mbda Business Center is part of a national network of centers funded by the Mbda and operated by GNE MSDC, which is the Greater New England Minority Supplier Development Council. Our mission is to strengthen the U.S. economy, as the director has said, by helping MBEs grow their businesses, create jobs, and compete in the global economy. Our clients are MBEs with revenues of $500,000 and greater, and we have companies that are substantially larger than $500,000 that we work with. We're part of a wide network of over 40 MBDA business centers and specialty centers, and we have over 1,700 corporate members, and we connect with federal, state, and local agencies. The Mbda Business Center offers a number of services. We offer access to capital and financial management. These services include identification of different sources of capital. We're talking about debt, equity. We're talking about different kinds of debt like mezzanine financing. And so we go up and down the capital stack. We offer access to markets and contracts. MBEs are out there pounding the pavement looking for business. And it's our mission to help them get that business. So we connect them with the buyers. We offer access to global export markets. And it's something that's really special because of our connection with the U.S. Commerce Department, that we can help businesses who otherwise would not be able to extend themselves internationally. Through the Commerce Department, we can assist them in doing so. We offer access to strategic advisory services. Very often MBEs are busy trying to build their businesses, and sometimes some businesses may lose their way. And so we need to get them to be strategic, and we need to help in doing that by bringing in subject matter experts in different areas that could assist, so that they know where they're going. So where are we, or where have we been? Well, we organized here in July after the award was given. We put our staff together. We have over 85 clients that we've served, and we've made inroads into connecting our members or our clients with corporate entities who are buying, as well as subject matter expertise. We've done a significant number of contract opportunities in terms of helping our MBEs put some revenues on their books. Our goals are very lofty, but we think they're achievable in this new environment. We're targeting over $100 million in awarded contract and over $50 million in financing, over 500 jobs that we expect to create. And of course, the strategic advisory services will provide both quantitative and qualitative breakthroughs in terms of how MBEs run their businesses. We'll provide corporate members access to quality MBE goods and services, and that's the end game. As you can see, we have none of this would be possible without the team, right, and the expertise of the team. Wide range of expertise. As you can see, we have entrepreneurship, venture capital, private equity, strategic planning, legal, M&A backgrounds, the whole spectrum of skills that you need in order to make this Mbda Business Center a success. So, grow your business, partner with us. Together, we continue to rise. And now I'd like to introduce Miss Alicia Porcini, Director of Small Business for the City of Boston. Is Alicia here? Alicia has not arrived as yet. So let's bring on Madeline Widans from Mass Bio to tell us something about this important industry in Massachusetts. Madeline, welcome.
Hello, everyone. I am Madeline Widans. So I'm so happy to be here today. So I work at Mass Bio. I don't know if you guys have heard of it before, but Mass Bio is a great organization, and we have different programs, and I'm part of the EDGE program, Mass Bio EDGE program. Recently, my colleagues and I have created a program called Supply Diversity Program, where we are bringing different businesses, so, minority-owned, women-owned, veteran-owned businesses to this program. And we are expanding. And with the help of, Peter Hurst, thank you, and others as well. So, this is really important for us, and, we want our members to not only use our preferred partners like Fisher Scientific and others, but we want them to also know that, we're making a difference. We want them to use other vendors and, know that, these people they're providing discounts. They want us to, let people know, hey, we're here. And so, that's kind of what Mass Bio and this program is all about, and we hope to do more, and yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madeline. Really appreciate Mass Bio and all the support that we've received from you over the years. Is Alicia here yet? Or so we'll move forward here. We'd like to start some testimonials because we've had some businesses and we've had a chance to get some numbers on the board here. So I'd first like to call Kadani, Fresh G, and Chuck. Chuck, do you want to join Kadani up here?
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. My name is Kadani Fresgy. I'm with Zones. First and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for coming. Thanks, Senator Markey, for understanding there's a need in being a person to act upon it. Zones, as a company, Zones, we're a service organization predicated on helping our customers deliver services and IT. And as I think about Zones, and when I came to work for Zones a year ago, I talked to the CEO and I said to myself, this is a guy that gets it. Feroz is a CEO of our organization. He's an immigrant from Uganda whose family was persecuted by Idi Amin, right? His father was killed. He shows up, he comes to America as a refugee, goes to college, opens a line of photo mats in the Pacific Northwest, and later on sells those and starts Zones. You fast forward 30 years, and I'm sure he didn't think at the time he'd be a $30 billion organization, but here we are. One thing I will say that I really appreciate about Zones is that from the onset, Feroz has always had the mindset that it's important to give back. And we've been able to do that and give back every step of the way. I want to take the opportunity to applaud Feroz and applaud everyone in this room for taking those same steps, right? We're all here trying to make it together and be better. I've been working with the council for about 7 months, and one of the things I can say is working with these guys, I've come to appreciate their professionalism, their candor, and their ability to deliver. As a strategic partner, we decided to work with the council on targeting supplier diversity But we actually went a lot further than that, because in the beginning we thought we'd only be able to target those people in supplier diversity, and it comes to find out we were able to target not just those people in supplier diversity, but we were able to target those people in procurement. We were able to target those people at higher levels on CEOs, which is what a company like Zones needs, right? We need to be able to get in, and we need to be able to talk to those folks at the C-suite if we really want to create change and create an opportunity for ourselves. And the council, thank you guys so much, gave us the opportunity to just do that. You know, one of the things that I really appreciate about the council is that, you know, we actually put work and cadence to what we do. A lot of companies, a lot of organizations say they want to partner with you, and you see them one day, they make an introduction, and they're gone by the end of the night. And you never to see them again. The council actually stuck with us, right? We have biweekly cadences. We make sure we inspect what we expect, and we've been able to create a number of opportunities that I don't think we would have been able to create without the council. I'm sure in our younger days, we always had those people that we loved to go out with, that friend that you knew if you went out with, you were sure to get in the club, right? There's no waiting in line, there's no paying that cover. It's that warm smile, that handshake, and you're in. That's Peter Hurst. That's who you want on your team. And I was reluctant to say that because I kind of want to keep Peter to myself. But, you know, in the business of sharing and creating opportunity for us all, Peter Hurst is your guy. Peter actually introduced me to a CIO of an organization that I've been calling on for years. I mean, years, with different organizations and was never able to break into. Peter sent one email with a little blurb about Zones and what we do, and within the next week we're meeting with the CIO. You fast forward 1 month, and now we have a 3-year, $21 million deal on the table, looking to be closed at the end of the month. So, you know, I'd like to say thank you to Peter, thank you to Mike, thank you to the organization. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Kadani. Thank you for that testimonial. I understand that the City of Boston Chief of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion, Segun Iduwu, is here. Segun, please approach the podium. We'd like to hear from you.
So hi everyone, and thank you for having us today. On behalf of Chief Segun Iduwu, my name is Alicia Porcini. I am actually the new Director of Small Business for the City of Boston. The Chief couldn't be here today, but wanted to make sure that the city's presence was here to just talk about some of our vision and priorities for the Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion. This is an exciting time for the City of Boston. Neighborhood revitalization is important. We want to make sure that we're activating spaces and bringing foot traffic to business districts, especially our businesses here. Earlier this week, we had the Boston Blues event where we welcome people to downtown, and we like to keep that moving. And then, you know, the chief is committed to being in our neighborhoods. He's committed to doing a walk every week. Just yesterday, we walked down Blue Hill Ave, meeting with business owners, trying to understand their needs, and really making sure that that business owners know that we're here for them. Our ultimate goal is to uplift our neighborhoods outside of the downtown area, and turn them into destinations. And so we look forward to working with all of you and supporting businesses, especially BIPOC businesses, minority-owned businesses. That is part of our focus: access, opportunity, and inclusion. And so we are very excited about this time at the city and look forward to partnering with many of you here to keep that focus going. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that representation of the City of Boston Economic Opportunity and Inclusion. I'd now like to ask Nathan Alley to the podium, CEO of Skygenic.
Thank you very much, Michael. Good morning. Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much to the MBDA for having me here. I'd like to give you a little more information about who we are and the challenges that we're trying to overcome in the medical research field, so you could better understand how much appreciation we have for this program, and in such a short amount of time, what difference this made for us. And like most great ideas, usually they're helped along with a little bit of wine. And on that note, about 4 years ago, a group of physician scientists at Boston Children's Hospital were getting together to unwind after a long week of work, and they were having some red wine when one of the physicians got up and ran back to her lab. When she came back, we heard that all week long she was trying to analyze some genomic data, and going into the weekend, she had to make sure her computer was still running. Well, the rest of that night, all the physicians there were vetting about how significant of a challenge the data analysis was and how much of a roadblock it was for their medical research. The reason, the field that most of them are trying to analyze data is in the field of genomics, and most people know about it from 23andMe, as well as the groundbreaking technology that allowed the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines for the COVID-19 that uses messenger RNA technology. The challenge is that most scientists want to have their own groundbreaking technology in their respective fields, but in order to analyze the data, they need a bioinformatician who's a specialist to do the analysis. There's such a high demand that they often have to wait 3-4 months to get the data analysis results. So Skygenic, with the physicians, we developed an analysis platform that will allow physicians to analyze their own data. Our physicians want to use this in their lab for treat their own patients, like with lupus. So as you can tell, our team is composed of highly specialized scientists, engineers, bioinformaticians, but there is a void that we have in our team, and the MBDA program has been able to help fill that void, help to give us the tools and guidance that we need to succeed in such a short amount of time. First started with one-on-one coaching with Michael, and he helped us work on our presentation and our pitches. And as a result, we've started to win pitching competitions. They've developed roadmaps to help guide us and point us and steer us in the right direction. And they've used their business connections to help open the doors that allowed us to get into formal training courses through Dartmouth that helped us succeed as entrepreneurs. They've been helping to work with us on our business and marketing plan, so that way when the opportunity presents us, we are ready to be able to pass this off to the right people. And most importantly, they've been helping to expose us to different funding mechanisms so we can continue to develop this innovative technology that we're working on. So from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank Michael, Ira, she's been helping us, Peter, and Senator Markey for such an important program that not only means so much to us in such a short amount of time, but hopefully to the medical research sector from the challenges that we are working night and day to try and overcome. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you, Nathan, and I want to also thank the Senator's office for helping Skygenic in Washington, D.C., because Skygenic is working, trying to talk with the NIH and some other agencies, and the Senator's office has been extremely helpful in that regard. I'd like to bring Brandale Randolph to the podium. Brandale, could you give us a testimony, please?
Thank you. Hi, I just want to first thank the NDSA for helping us to dream bigger. When we were first starting and we were devastated by the pandemic, we were thinking way too small. But when I first introduced our technology to Michael was like, this is a bigger company than I thought it would be. So now, when we think about our place in history in this time, and we introduce ourselves, we're not just a small bike brand or manufacturer. Now we're thinking of going global. Mike in the NDSA, Ira, and all those others that has helped us out has taught us how to dream and set up bigger. We're not after small contracts anymore. and it's going to take a while, but we're going to become the first African-American owned electric motorcycle maker in the country. And I wouldn't have this foundation to build this without the team from NDSA. And I want to thank Michael, because now that we introduce ourselves and we see our place in history, they're actually helping us set that foundation for that for years and years to come. So thank you, Michael. Thank you, all those in NDSA, for introducing us and helping us grow what we do and produce those jobs. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandale Randolph. Going after some renewable energy type opportunities to make electric motorcycle. If Elon Musk can do it, you certainly can. So next I'd like to introduce Peter Hurst, who needs no introduction.
Thank you, Michael, and thank all of you for showing up today. I'm Peter Hurst. I'm the president and CEO of the Greater New England Minority Supplier Development Council. As Michael indicated, with the help of Senator Markey, MassBio, the Associated Industries of Massachusetts, and the Connecticut delegation, we were awarded a 5-year, $2 million grant last August to operate a minority business development center here in Massachusetts. I want to spend a few minutes talking about why this is important and why the work we do is important. There is a racial wealth gap that exists in this country. You should see up on the slide, the median net worth of a black family in this country is 13% of the median net worth of a white family. The median net worth of a Hispanic family in this country is 19% of the median net worth of a white family. Let me tell you why that's important. Wealth, or the lack thereof, affects a whole lot of things. It affects where you live. It affects where you can send your kids to school. It affects the quality of health care you receive. It affects whether you have the funds to start and grow a business. It affects your spending power. So the racial wealth gap has serious consequences on a micro level. But more importantly, that racial wealth gap causes a lot of problems on a national level and on a regional level. McKinsey has estimated that over the next 4 or 5 years, the racial wealth gap is going to cost the U.S. economy between $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. That's real money. Last year, the Massachusetts Taxpayer Foundation released a report that said in the Commonwealth, the racial wealth gap is going to cost the Massachusetts economy $25 billion over the next 5 years. So it really is, not something that's just a moral problem, but it's an economic problem. So the reason I'm talking about this and the reason we're here today is that minority business development is an effective lever to reduce the racial wealth gap. Minority businesses do several things that make communities stronger. They generate economic output. They create and maintain jobs, especially with people of color. They generate tax revenue. And the owners of these businesses represent a cadre of servant leaders in the communities in which they operate. Looking around this room, Sion Coglo with the Panther Group is an example of someone who's also not just a successful entrepreneur, but also a servant leader in the communities in which his business is operating. And if you put the context of what this means, in real terms, in this country, there are almost 1 million minority-owned businesses with paid employees that have $1.1 trillion in aggregate revenue, and they have 7.1 million employees. So that's real, real stuff. But it's not enough. We really need to do more. My colleague who runs the Michigan Council, did a study last year and said that at the current rate of spending by the public sector and the private sector, it's going to take over 300 years to reduce the racial wealth gap. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have 300 years. That study also said that if the public sector and the private sector increase their spending with minority-owned businesses by 5 to 6 times current levels, you could reduce the time to get to equity from 300 years to 15 years. Now, most of us probably can make it another 15 years. So I think we need to focus our collective efforts to support the center, and Senator Markey, we really appreciate that, because minority businesses need three things. They need contracts, they need intellectual capital, and they need financial capital in the form of debt and equity. So the MBDA Center and the Greater New England Council, collectively, we provide all three of those things. But none of this would have been possible without the support and real tangible support from Senator Markey. And Senator Markey and I have a mutual friend that I had to make sure he was aware of, a guy named Ed Leahy, who I used to practice law with, and he and the senator go way back. And I'm really appreciative, Senator Markey, for your support when we needed it. Now that we have the grant, we have more friends than you might imagine. But we were out there and the bullets were flying and no one was helping us. Senator Markey, you stood up, you supported the Greater New England Council. We now have this center, and I can assure you, and I can assure everyone in this room, that we're going to do everything we can to make sure that the minority businesses that need contracts, that need intellectual capital, and need financial capital are going to get it. So I'd like to end right now. Thank all of you for coming, but I really want to take this opportunity to invite Senator Markey up and to thank you again for your support, not just of the Greater New England Council and the Massachusetts MBA Center, but your support of entrepreneurship, your support of the environment, and your support of small business in general. Senator Markey.
So, thank you, Peter, so much. And one thing is for sure, you also need a vision. And you have the vision. You can see what has to be done. And I thank you, Peter, for everything that you have been doing. As Peter said, we have a common friend. His name is Ed Leahy, and he and I met on the first day of law school a few years ago. And the dean's secretary came from Malden, where I lived. And he started dating the secretary and eventually married her. So we had a Malden connection right off the bat with Ed Leahy. And then Peter and Ed went to work for one of the most famous and powerful law firms in the United States of America, which is where Peter met Ed Leahy as well. So Peter is a great man, but a vision without funding is an hallucination. You have to have the funding. And Ed Leahy called me and said that there is this great man, that if we can help him to get that additional funding, that he can put the resources out into the hands of many, many, many more people. And so that was a very important phone call to me, and we went to work immediately in order to make sure that the funding was included in the federal budget for the program. I'll tell you what, TJ and Hadley, this is incredible. I mean, and talking earlier, all arrows are up. Business is great. It's booming. And you can feel all of that energy and all of that economic activity all along the line from all of the great testimonials which we heard today. But it is absolutely essential that we continue, that this is a great day, but a great day needs more great days that follow on in order, as Peter said, to telescope the time frame so that we get this job done, that we break down all of the structural barriers, all of the systems that have been in place over decades, centuries, that deny talented people of color access to the same capital, the same financial opportunities, the same intellectual wells that can be used in order to create wealth for communities of color as well. So we need to put that together. So I was honored to work to have the United States Department of Commerce provide $2.1 million for this program, because it was very clear to me the impact that your program would have on the development of and growth of minority businesses in Massachusetts and as a model for the whole rest of the country. And there's an incredible amount of work which has already been done by the Greater New England Minority Supplier Development Council and their 45-year record of supporting minority-owned businesses. And so I just want to tell you how pleased I am to be able to be here to officially celebrate this grant award and the Massachusetts MBDA's Center's Open House. Thank you. It's just so great to be here. And Urban Grape is like a pluperfect example of what can happen. If you have a vision, if you have a little bit of courage, which is what entrepreneurs have in surplus, but they also need access to capital in order to make sure that those dreams can be realized. And so Urban Grape is the beating heart of this neighborhood, of this whole section of town. And it's there because of an entrepreneur, because of what you have done. And so I think it's just so important for us to realize that even at the height of the pandemic, when businesses were under enormous stress and we were putting together tens of billions of dollars, in many instances, minorities were at the back of the line. And even when we, that is a group of us, wrote the language so that minority and women-owned businesses would have a whole set-aside inside of those billions of dollars so that the funding would be there for them, a court struck that down. So what we're working on right now is a package of an additional $40 to $50 billion that we pass this year. And that we make sure that all of those businesses, but especially minority and women businesses that were left behind, are in that line. And they get access to that funding so that they can realize their dreams. So from my perspective, this is about as great a day as I'm going to have this year because it's all about the future. It's all about untapping all of the human potential, which has been denied their seat at the table for too long. And we can see what happens when they get in the door. And we can see what happens in terms of wealth being created, jobs being created, people being able to just change the whole trajectory of their families' lives. That's why I am just so grateful for everything you do, Peter, and for everything that all of these entrepreneurs do. And I will be there year after year. You just knock on my door. In the same way, all of these guys are saying, we knocked on your door, and you were there to help. I just want my door to be there as well, for all of you to know that you can knock on. And all of the entrepreneurs to be, who we don't even know their names yet. That's why this funding is here. It's to provide the programs that will make it possible for those businesses yet to be created to be born. So it's a great honor to be here. I do feel like I'm in the beating heart of the city, and it is a transformed city. It's a minority-majority city. It's a city that's growing wealthier and wealthier as it becomes less and less white. And that's not what experts said was going to happen, right? But it requires ongoing planning, ongoing interventions, ongoing intentionality to ensure that everyone is included in this incredible economic growth that we have seen in the city of Boston. So I can't thank you enough for the great opportunity to be here. I sit on the Senate Small Business Committee. That's who you are. I just want you all to know that I'll be there with you every single step of the way. Congratulations to everyone. This is just such a great, great day.
Thank you again, U.S. Senator Edward Markey, for everything that you've done to make this day possible. Thank you, Senator. And thank you all for joining us today for the Massachusetts MBDA Business Center Open House. Please, for those of you who are on premises, please join us for lunch. And before we close, I'd like to ask TJ to come to the podium to give us a few closing words.
How nervous you are. Actually, I asked for me to come back to the podium. So. Thank you. So, TJ Douglas again, Senator Markey, that was amazing. And I mentioned in my brief opening that, really think and open up your hearts. His decision to promote and to think about minorities, that's a heart thing. And so I meant that. So thank you, Senator Markey, for that. You said something that that a vision with, and I'm paraphrasing I think now, a vision without capital, without funding, is a hallucination. What I did not mention was that this past year, 2021, my wife Hadley and I won Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year Award for New England. And thank you. And we also won, besides the accolades of Best Wine Shop in Boston and New England and all that stuff, we won the United States Chamber of Commerce Small Business of the Year. So, thank you. So with that, we ended up winning a $25,000 award, which we then started something called the Progressive Wine Company, which is helping really diversify this business and this industry that I love, that I've been in since I was 14 years old. This will allow access to people that look like me and people that don't look like me into this industry, which is a very white and Eurocentric dominated industry. It always has been, but it's starting to change. 2 years ago, we started the Urban Grape Wine Studies Award for students of color at Boston University, raised almost $250,000 as an endowment. And what that does, it brings BIPOC into this industry, educates them, provides mentorship, and also provides practical work experience by way of paid internships for a year. And when we thought about doing this, we did this because I didn't want to be the only one in a wine shop. I didn't want to be the only one as a sommelier or a winemaker or anything like that. I wanted to give more opportunity. But if those folks, if those BIPOC in Roxbury, Mattapan, outskirts of Chicago, anywhere, they don't see themselves in this business or this industry, and they don't know that this exists, it's really tough. So we have the vision right now, but what we're lacking is the capital to make that vision come true. And so I'm actually not a member of this right now, but I'm taking a lot of time with my assistant, and we're going through because we're actually in the process of applying, because I see that there is major opportunity within 15 years to create just massive change in this industry, and so that there are more hubs of community like Urban Grape around our country. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Michael. Thank you again for hosting here today.
And thank you, Hadley, for hosting us in this celebratory day. I know that the senator has requests for a couple of interviews, so I don't know if he will have time for those. El Planeta, I believe, is here to interview the senator, and I believe that our videographer also wanted to do a clip that will be on the internet with Senator Markey. So, but anyhow, thank you very much, and we will enjoy some some lunch, and please welcome, and please give us a call. If we can help you, give us a call at the MBDA Business Center in Massachusetts. Thank you.